We are live. Welcome back to the Duel podcast with your hosts Alicia Solomon and Megan Hines, where we talk all things the challenge every week. This week we're talking, of course, the challenge Ride or Dies. And this week we get more of the Tori and Jordan saga. We get a cap of that. And we finally see how the twist of the teams finally ends up. And yeah, this week was a fun week, and then Tori and Jordan happened again.
Well, I feel like Tori and Jordan happen every week, but I think just the twist of this week was just like enough is enough. Like, where's the finish line to this show? Like, it seems like it's never ending.
Yeah, because like even in this team twist situation, no one actually went home except for Nathan and Maurice. So that's something. But in this episode we get how the teams disband and the pairs come back. So we start off the episode with Nani back in the game. She got her reset and better reasoning on why she's there, clear head, and she's now focused. Fessy said he wasn't phased about Mariah's departure since they broke into teams. You all know, like, that little saga of them not talking and not being in sync. And Horacio gives Olivia some flowers for her birthday. That day was her birthday, and she said it meant a lot to her since she felt a tad bit alone since a lot of her friends in the house were gone. All she had left was her ride at Horacio, and he's just hoping make it a little bit easier for her now that it's gotten later in the game.
Cute for her. Next. I don't care.
And we see Tori talking to Anissa, and we also see a bit of Jordan saying that he wants to kind of essentially separate the personal from the game aspect and focus on himself. Tori basically tells Anissa that she's worried that Jordan would not save her in the event that his team would win one of the weeks. And at this point, I wrote in my notes, I am tired of this grandpa because, and the production keeps saying, well, it's too damn bad because it's always something with these two. Like Tori is still hung up on this for what?
I I mean, I would say I don't know, but honestly, she's still in love with him, and I think that she is just upset that he's probably not in the same vibe with her as well. I think that she really is trying to show that she like is still in love and he's not really showing the emotion that she wants. So, I mean, as much as we see it every week, it's going to continue to be the same thing because she's there and he's there. So, I just think that every week it's going to be the same old shit. And I think that Anissa's tired of it. The house is tired of it. We're tired of watching it. So, I just wish that they would let it go at some point. But she's not getting the closure that she's looking for. So, she's going to keep talking about it.
And I thought she got this closure in the beginning of the season when they had that chat and then she pulled him off to the side. At this point, they want two different things. He just wants to be amicable and friends. She obviously wants a little bit something more, and she's not gonna get that because even as we saw previously, her dangling whatever they have that was salvageable kind of broke that, and she can't get over that.
I don't
So
think she will. So, yeah.
yeah, and so we go into the daily challenge, and this is actually during the night. They even cut the way that they cut this episode is very weird. Like we see them in the day, and then they cut straight to like the night. There's nothing in between. They did the same thing later on in the episode when TJ came to the house. I'm like, y'all could have done this totally different, but okay. And as they are walking up to the daily challenge, Amber says that Chauncey is not doing great because this is about to be dealing with heights, and Chauncey does not do heights. and they're gonna be doing a challenge that's called "It Takes Two to Tango." Um, and in pairs, they will dance their way across the beam and have to overcome different obstacles along the way. And when they hit a circle, they will move into the tangle situation in the circle, and they have to get from side to side within 10 minutes, or there will be yanks. And the team of the fastest pair will win and, and interrogate the losing men.
I don't like this challenge. I just gonna put it out there. I don't like this challenge. I think that this was not thought out correctly as to having like two different teams go again for the same team when you can really just average the time of the teams to make it fair so that people don't have to go twice, number one, and shorten the people that are going, but then also just the fact that it was just too lopsided, and I feel like there were some parts of it where it's just clearly like production is just either pulling for one team or another because it just didn't seem like this even made any sense.
Yeah, because why did Fetchits go twice? But then they have less guys. That makes sense. But it's weird. Um, and so Fessy and Tori are first to go, and they make it to the first circle, and he was a little bit wobbly. Not gonna lie, like Tori said, he was wobbly, but he's like, I'm the biggest guy, but I got good balance because I was an athlete. Um, and they end up competing it. I'm like, okay, who? This looks a little bit tricky. And I was worried like if someone was actually gonna get yanked at one point, but I felt like at least like most people would get through it. But the next pair did not even get to go because it was Anissa and Chauncey. And Chauncey was still freaking out because it was Height Sphere. He told TJ he didn't think he could do it, and TJ was not trying to have him quit, but Chauncey was like, I'm not doing this. And they did not complete the challenge.
I mean, it's a little Dural 2.0, but I just don't like the fact that Anissa told the camera that her partner shouldn't have quit when she should have been talking to her Chauncey. Like, girl, don't tell us. Tell that man. We are not going across the beam with you. He was supposed to. So I don't get the point of her saying like, oh, he needs to, fight for his partner and also the like, girl, you telling the wrong people. Don't tell us. Tell him. But regardless, I just think that Chauncey just not even attempting. It's like, all right, like I understand your fears, but at some point you're gonna have to overcome them because this is what the challenge is. So I just I don't get it when people are like, "Oh my god, I have a fear of this or I can't do this." It's like, why did you even come? Like, why'd you show up?
Yeah. And then also the one thing when she said like she needed support. You couldn't support your own partner. Like it's not all about you, Anissa. Like it's a two-way street. You always get support from somebody. When you gonna support somebody else when they are feeling a little bit down? Like you could have said, "Hey, I got this. I got you. We can do this." She just stood there. That's not a team player.
That's Anissa. But
That
okay.
is true. And then Jordan and Nani were next, and they were communicating well together on top of the bean, and they competed. Then Amber and Devin also competed as well. And Olivia and Bananas were next. Olivia was also terrified, and Bananas was dying on the inside, but they finished. And Horacio Nani went next. Um, and he was like, I'm not a tango kind of guy. He was like, I'm more of a merengue and salsa kind of guy. But he did it. He did what he could do. And Nani was communicating really well with him and helping him get across the beam back and forth.
I think everyone did fairly well for this sort of challenge because like Fessy was complaining that he was able to go first because he really the main thing was that he couldn't see anybody else do it to try to mock or take away or learn something from their technique, so he had to go first. But I feel like once everybody went, they kind of got the groove of what they were supposed to do, and they made it work. So I was like fairly surprised that everyone crossed over except for Chauncey, of course, but like everyone actually made it across the beam and made it back safely. Like no one got yanked or, pulled.
Yeah, and I feel like Chauncey really was like spooked because like he was scared about the Yanks part. But I'm like, if you just get through it, you get through it, and that's it. Um, then Casey and Fessy went, and Fessy was just dragging Casey the whole time. Like he literally just grabbed her, got her from point to point, and that was it. Like that was an easy breeze for him, for that one at least, because Casey is hella lighter than him, so he was just able to kind of just carry her. And she was like calling herself finger toes because she was light on her feet. You had Fessy to kind of just movie, so that's it.
Yeah, it's easy to be light on your feet when you're not on the ground.
Yep. And that was a really quick challenge. Fessy said that he hoped that his times of either Tori or Casey would get them to win. And turns out the fastest time for everybody was him and Casey. And that meant that their team won the challenge and they have to interrogate Jordan, Devin, and Horacio on who will they pick for the main votes. And we go into interrogation, and Johnny just says we'll leave Devin off the table, which I'm like, okay. Um, and they said that basically let's put Jordan and Horacio as our main options for the vote. And it seemed like most of them were kind of really leaning to push for Jordan. Um, and Tori's like, I might just say his name to be petty, essentially. But she was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Here we go again with more of the Tori and Jordan saga. It just really continued on. I think that everyone at this point was the consensus was to put Jordan in because he is the strongest male that's left on that team, and everyone's friends with Devin. So it was really only Horacio and Jordan, and I feel like they've been gunning for Jordan for a while. So this is their opportunity. Horacio has been a strong player all season, so I think that he's also just someone else that if they don't want to throw Jordan in, he's also there. But I just think that for the most part, everyone wanted to vote for Jordan, but there were a few that morally couldn't do it, like Anissa. I would say Tori, but the girl has no morals. But whatever her heart was saying that she couldn't pick him, like she was just left to sit there and cry in front of him, which I just felt that whole scenario, like you could see it in Banana's face. Like he's looking at this girl like this cannot be serious. Like he's looking at it as a joke. And so was I, because the crying and just the fact that he just literally told her the honest truth and she doesn't want to hear it. And I feel like she keeps going back and harping to the fact of they didn't have a conversation. He's not talking to her. He's not open to her. And I just feel like if he's not open and talking to you how you want to, you need to take that as your answer to what you need to know. Just like let it go. Just drop it. I just feel like she just kept pressing on this one situation with, like Norris and then the terrorist comment. It just kept like escalating. And Anissa, rightfully so, was like, I'm over it. Like, I'm over these two, over being in the middle of these two. Like, when can this end? And it's really just like, enough. Enough is enough, girlfriend.
And I hate to be siding with Jordan, but
On
he would
anything. Oh my
like,
God.
but he literally explained it out to her, and she, like you said, doesn't want to listen. Yelled at him, dropped his basically his whole interrogation. She was like, "I'm just gonna let everything out and just vent towards him in front of everybody." Girl, where is your therapist? You could have called your therapist on FaceTime and like, "Hey, I'm dealing with this. What should I do?" No, you are literally having it real in your head, which it happens. But someone should be giving you sound advice. You should be listening to Anissa, who's been trying to tell you, like, okay, whatever, and just chill. Like, you're valid in your feelings. However, you need to see other options on how to deal with it, because the way she's been dealing with it has not been healthy. Like her literally yelling at him, and he's actually being truthful and honest about the situation, it's not helping anybody. It's not helping her at all. And he's like, what else? Like, what else does she want from him at the end of the day? And even though we all know, like, behind the scenes, like, he was really trying to push for her and root for her, but this just happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is where the sponsorship for BetterHelp.com comes into play. Please speak to your therapist. Stop speaking to people who don't want to hear the shit, bro. Like, be tired of it. Get somebody that's in your network, in your coverage, and talk to them. Like, cut it out.
Please. BetterHelp or whatever else is out there, please do that.
Please.
Because we don't need to see this broadcasted every week on the same topics. Okay? It's the same thing every week with her. Like, you need to sit down, reflect, and get over it at this point. Because you're harping on something that doesn't need to be harped on.
And please
And
remember
you're
that feelings are not facts. Okay? Thank you.
that as well. And that was they really ended that interrogation on like a hot note because everybody was like, okay, what is going to happen? But they also did talk to Devin and Horacio, obviously. I do want to highlight that Fessy said that he sees himself in Horacio. And I'm like, okay, because like this is a because Fessy said this thing said something afterwards during the after elimination later on, and I'm just like, sir, you see yourself in him, but he's been outperforming you in moments in this challenge. Like he has more
He
grace.
wants to see himself in him. That's that. I think that's what he's meant to say. But what he said, because he's so warped in his mind and he's not self-aware, as we've already covered, he just does not think that he's at that level. So he's saying that he wants to be. He sees himself in Horacio. Was like, "Mm, you more Zach than anything. Like he actually is giving me Zach vibes. Like that's what this man is. But leave Horacio out of this. Horacio is just on the rise, young. Just I just feel like, come on now, stop it. Comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know who's. I think that's in the Bible somewhere or something like that.
Yes.
Just stop comparing yourself to people, bro. Like, stop it.
And but I try to be. I sometimes I do be trying to give him a benefit of the doubt, but he just be saying some stupid stuff. That's really it. Like he just be talking without thinking, and it's just like, sir, please, whatever makes you feel great, cool, but keep that to yourself. You don't need to hear it. Um, and Devin did also say that would y'all rather pick a professional soccer athlete or a triathlete with a bad attitude? Um, with who they want, because obviously he was at the table. So yeah. And then Jordan and Horacio have a convo. Jordan was basically telling him what happened in his interrogation. Um, and he told him that having a friendship with Tori is very difficult at this point. And Horacio said that Jordan looks a little bit out of it. Because the Tori situation to him is draining Jordan.
And all of
And
us as well.
yes. And we go to the zone and we get to the vote. Anissa places her vote on Horacio. Fessy knocks one back to Jordan for his vote. Olivia votes for Devin. Chauncey to Jordan. Casey to Horacio. And we get to Tori. And her speech was not moving me. I literally wrote my notes. Her speech isn't moving me. This emotions is not moving me. And she just decided just to vote for Horacio. Like, you did not need to go back and forth on debating if you wanted to vote for Jordan or not. Like, he's told you to your face multiple times that he would not vote for you to go into elimination. He would not do that. because there is still some type of love for her there and for love and support for her from him. He would not do that. If she just gave us like tears that were not moving.
Yeah, I feel like she tried to get back the speech that he gave, but honestly, he ate that more than she did because we don't want to hear that emotional. Get out of here, like girl, shut up, pick somebody and move on. Like we don't really care about. Oh, it was so hard, and like these speeches, low key, be getting me tight. Just shut up and pick somebody. Every time somebody got to, oh TJ, this is one of the hardest decisions I had to think. I had to do. I mean, I couldn't think. I just like, can you pick somebody, please?
Because it's not like the speeches are not it. Like you were not okay in my mind. I'm not gonna vote for Jordan. Cool. Then just place your vote for Ross still. Clear vote. Cool. Be over it. We didn't need that. Because like I said, the tears were moving. And he was like, "Oh, she's very emotional." What is that?
She's always emotional.
Yeah. And then Banana secures the vote for Horacio as well. And Horacio is going into elimination. And we get to the dagger drop between Jordan and Devin. Devin draws it first. Um, young Dagger, he gave his name, gave himself this name, drew the safe Dagger. So Devin is safe, and Jordan will be going into elimination. I just
I
want.
don't like that name. I don't know what that name is, and I don't think that anyone in life would ever call him that. Like, I just think that was very. And then it was the way that he followed up with saying it's my hip hop name.
So we have a hip hop advocate and a wannabe rapper Macklemore Lil Dicky, whose name is Young Dagger. Please, no. We don't need a hip hop
Leave
advocate and a wannabe
black
rapper in the house.
people alone. Leave black culture alone, please. Like we don't need any more people over here. I promise you, I know we are minority, but we don't need any more people over here.
No, no.
Come on now.
And so, Jordan and Horacio are playing Balls In. We all know this game is a challenge classic, where in 3 rounds they'll play offense and defense, where one player will try to get the ball into the center goal, while the other tries to block them or knock the ball out of bounds. The player with the most goals will win. And this was actually a really good elimination. This was really a good head-to-head matchup between two of the best competitors in the house.
Yeah, I think this is something that everybody wanted essentially because even though Horacio got voted in, it was 50-50 if Jordan was going to go in or not. And so everyone was kind of glad that, hey, Devin is up here because now we get the matchup that we wanted. And so either one of these two strong players are going to be eliminated.
Yeah. And Jordan got the first score in round one. He was really trying to impose his will off the bat. And in round two, Horacio left Jordan to dust. He did a fake out on Jordan, and it was a tie score 1-1. Everybody was like, "Oh wow!" Like Jordan normally is the one that does that, like Ani said, but Horacio got the better of him.
Yeah, I feel like Horacio gave him that, you know, little AI crossover on Jordan, just literally just like got him out the way and literally just was super fast with it. And I feel like Horacio is just showing the level of a competitor that he is, and especially now going against head to head against Jordan because everyone felt that Horacio was good, but like going against Jordan, I feel like it's like the barometer and the biggest test for him this season in elimination because he's going at it one on one. He doesn't have a partner with him, doesn't have anybody screaming for him. Like it's literally just him and Jordan on the sand, and that move right there was like, oh, okay, this is like he ain't here to play, and I like that.
Yeah. And in round three, um, Horacio ended up grabbing Jordan, but Jordan broke his hold. Jordan was able to score. It was 2-1 Jordan. Round four, Horacio went straight to the center and scored. Jordan didn't really pose that much of a threat in round four, and so it was tied 2-2. In round five, the ball flew out of Jordan's hand, and it was way out of bounds, so it was a dead ball. In the final round of round six, Jordan grabbed Horacio's legs. Horacio was hopping for a bit, then was able to get out of Jordan's grasp, and he got to the center goal and got it in. So 3-2 for Horacio. He wins. He stays in the game. And this is also where I was like, shut up, Fessy. He was like, I see you now. I'm like, sir, this man has been doing work in challenges in elimination. He's now also just tied Sarah Grayson and Casey and West for 5 elimination wins in a rookie season. You can't say that you can do that.
No, because he's never done it and probably never will because he tries to avoid elimination as much as he can. But I, the whole compare, like, cut it out, bro. Like, you haven't done anything. I feel like if Horacio goes on to get to a final and actually like wins a final, like, I would be so much happier because the only other person recently that done that was Amber, and I feel like she doesn't get validated enough. So if Horacio does it, for some reason I feel like he will get that validation more than Amber, which is sad. But you know, seeing how things are playing out, that's what it's looking like. But bro, I don't want to hear him compare himself to Horacio like at all, because there's no way, shape, or form that you are any way, shape, or type the same as him. Like, he's been through so much and has come out on top every single time. I just think that Fessy wishes. He should say, I wish I could be like him. Because that's what he really wants, to be honest.
And like Fessy has a 5-0 record that spans over how many seasons? Hey.
It's not as long. It's not one. It's not one.
No. And all most of those nations were catered to him. And I'm gonna stand by that. So, banana so Jordan's gone and we go to the house the next day. Banana tells Tori that Jordan be gone is good for her mental. Cool. All right. Then we get a visit from TJ because he said, "You never know where I'm going to show up." He pulls up to the house. Everybody's like, "Oh snap! TJ's here. What's going to happen?" Um, and Bananas makes a comment like, "Oh, you came to our house," and he's like, "This is my house," and tells them to pack their bags and go to the zone. And I had kind of an issue of how they kind of edited this. I'm like, this is daytime, and y'all cut to nighttime for the zone portion of the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I just think that, again, the story editors are creating a story where it's trying to be more of the drama, but the drama is not giving. So we would rather see more of the day to day of the house, the funny stuff. And I feel like because this is stretched longer than the previous seasons, like when we used to get like good fun stuff, it used to be 30 minutes, then it went to an hour. Now it's 90 minutes. And it's worse in this 90 minutes, somehow, some way, shape, or form, than it was in the 30 minutes to an hour. I feel like they were able to combine and just edit and tell the story well and have a lot of drama rather than the 90 minutes where they literally have to cut from day to night every single moment because they don't want to put anything in between and no filler. And I feel like there's a lot of drama that goes on in the house that could be shown, but it's not shown for whatever reason.
Yeah, because I'm like, it completely threw me off, especially this episode. I'm like, guys, y'all could have just said, hey, come to the zone during the day. Y'all could have made the set for the zone daytime friendly if y'all wanted to do that. At least if y'all wanted to say, hey, pack your bags, we're going to the zone. It was middle of the day. Y'all could have went there during the day and did this. But it's nighttime. And TJ tells them at the zone that the teams are no more. And when he's talking, he's like, some people turn their backs on the ride or dies when they split up. And there are others who stood 10 toes essentially for one another. And everybody who was still had their ride or dies still in the game, they went back to their partners. And that left Casey, Fessy, and Anissa by themselves. Casey asks, "Are we going home?" They didn't know what was happening. And TJ said, "Y'all couldn't protect your ride or dies." And they're like, "Oh shit, it's we going home." But Kenny, Mariah, and Jordan come back into the game, into the zone actually, and he says that all three pairs will have a chance to get back in the game, and one pair will be leaving for sure.
Two, just so that we can cut this down a little bit, because even with having only one pair go home, it's like what, seven more still up there? Like, how long is this going to go on for? Like, please, just let go, cut cut the cord, please. But
Yeah,
regardless, they had one more elimination, and I think that some of these people in this elimination was just like, I just end it now. I wish that they would go home to
yeah.
their families.
looking at the furniture siblings, futon and the sectional, just chilling, ready to go home. Um, so they are playing the first part of the nation. It's called "Don't Let Me Down," where the pairs will push a cylinder up a ramp, and they have to hold it in place for a minute. And the team that wins, they'll stay in the game. The other two will be um, doing something else right after. And Casey, Kenny, Anissa, and Jordan were struggling, but Mariah and Fessy were really holding strong with their cylinder.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, Mariah and Fessy, they're a strong duo. I just think that they don't like each other. And so that pushes them to work well with each other, because if they don't like each other, they want to win so that they know that it's not going in vain being with each other and around each other. So I think that they were showing that, you know what, they like are the strongest endurance wise out of those three people that were there. And the fact that you've seen Casey and Kenny struggling, it's like Casey doesn't have another man to pick up her slack, and she can't pick up her brother's slack. So it's just giving absolutely nothing over there. I think with Anissa and Jordan, like Jordan was supportive all season with Anissa, and Anissa was showing out herself to be playing really well, regardless of whatever shape she came into the season. But I think that let's be honest, but she has been playing well. I'm not gonna,
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
take away from her, but I just think that, you know, Jordan not having to like really push, like he was trying to get the best out of her. I just didn't know how this was really gonna work out with them having to hold the barrel. I mean, I know Jordan doesn't have any excuses, but it's not easy, you know, doing that plus with the sand, plus having Anissa. It's just like, bro, I don't know how these two are gonna get it done.
yeah. It was. They kept having to readjust, and both teams went way over a minute. They couldn't even hold on for at least like 10 seconds at least. But Fessy and Mariah, they were able to hold on for the whole minute, and now they are both back in the game. And which that leaves Kenny and Casey and Anissa and Jordan going head to head in the second part of the elimination. And honestly, yeah, I'm just ready for the furniture to go home.
It's time to go home and be a family man. I mean, as soon as he left the first time, he should never just he should have kept walking. Like, don't look back, because this don't make any sense. Like, and I understand Nani was like, "Oh, it's the sand. He can't catch his grip." Ain't no way. Ain't that much damn sand. Ain't that much grip. Your boy is weak. I'm sorry. He's weak at best. Like he could barely lift up the barrel. By the time he got up the step, he's falling back down. Casey can't help him. She can't pull him up because they the same weight. It's just like, bro, give the I was praying to see them go home this week.
Yeah, because it was just looking sad, like big time. Um, so that's how we end this episode with Mariah back. Her and Fessy are back still in the game. Um, good luck to the both of them because they need it. Um, and we'll see how the second part goes next week.
I mean, I kind of wish they would have finished it off this week, to be honest. But also, I think that, like I said, it should have been the two of them going home. Like once Mariah and Fessy won, they should have been able to go back up there, and then we continue on because there ain't no way. Like, how much more is there left? Like, what is
Like
there left to do, bro?
it's only episode 14. And how many of the episodes we got until a couple of people are gone before the final?
It has to be another purge. It has to be a purge because it's no way. It's too many
Yeah,
people left.
because it's like it's Bananas and Nani, Amber and Chauncey, Devin and Tori, Fessel and Mariah, Olivia and Horacio. That's 5, and then I'm blanking on everybody else. um, Jordan
The two at the
Nisa
two at the bottom, Alicia, Jordan,
and Casey.
and what's his face. So yeah,
So at this point, it's 7 teams still in the game. One other team goes home. I feel like at least next 2 weeks we get 2 more teams out, and we get the final 4 going into the final.
that's too
So
much.
we're just about close.
Just about ain't damn near close enough for me.
It really ain't because like okay, this week no one goes home really. And then next week, well technically because they didn't come back, they both got eliminated for good. Nelson and Reese. Like the only
Well,
team.
they don't count because they've been gone. Like once
Yeah,
Nelson
no.
went home, they were gone.
Yeah. I'm just saying like the only team to get actually eliminated in the past couple weeks
Right.
were them. So
Mm.
hey, it is what it is. We're gonna get into the tweets from this week, and it's only 3. First tweet is coming. It says, how no now Anissa, the main person asking for encouragement, and you ain't give your partner none. Insane.
No, literally. Like she literally was like talking to the producer behind the camera, and I'm just like, this is the wrong time for this confessional. Like, we don't care. You need to tell him who's not gonna do it and have you DQ'd.
Hey girl, please. Um, 6 weeks and we lost only one team. Who planned this? Because honestly, truly,
What have I just been saying? Like, bro, that is exactly it.
like this team twist in theory was, I want to say it was decent. I'll give it that, but it was flawed because literally only one team was gone in the last how many, like 6 weeks that like they did, like 6 weeks that we've had them in teams. No,
Seriously.
like y'all could have done better if executing how y'all wanted these teams to do, because like this team didn't go because it wasn't it. There could have been something else. And the last tweet comes from Mariah herself. Um, Fessy and I seeing each other again, and it is I forget this man's name, but it's the character from Futurama, and he's like just laying um on the tree behind him with you know those party favors that blow? It's just him doing that with like a blank face.
I mean, we could see it from her and Fessy's interaction from when they went in the confessional to, going back up there after winning the elimination. It just clearly showed that they just don't like each other. Like, they don't really fuck with each other. And that's okay to find that out. But it's just really like, now you have to go through that and try to win an elimination and trying to win challenges to try to beat out other people. Like, at some point, your discomfort and your like disharmony in between each other's relationship is going to be able to be somebody else's Achilles heel for you, and they may able to use that to turn, the two of you like against each other during a challenge.
Yeah. And it's gonna make them a target in how like the rest of the season kind of shapes out because they know that they don't mess with each other and they can just really just put them in elimination and send them home and just do that.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, those are all the tweets from this week. And yeah, congrats to nobody going home just yet.
Wow. We are the losers, the viewers, and viewers just like you. We are the losers this week, okay? Nobody went home. However, as much more episodes as they're going to be, we're going to come back to talk about all of them. We have All Stars that is about to start filming soon. We have some cast. So it's going to be interesting the next couple of months. Stay tuned. We're going to keep going because why the hell not? Thank you guys for listening. You can follow our Twitter page at Duel Lines Pod. You can follow our YouTube page at Duel Lines Podcast. You can follow Megan's page at Megan Hines. You can follow my page at ace_s5. And we will be back next week to talk more about the challenge. Friday Dies. Bye, guys.
Bye.